Hi everyone! We are now in Chapter 8, The Microcosm of Children and Adolescents. Under this, we have the following topics: Human Rights, Children's Rights, Filipino Children's Rights. Under this, we have Rights of Filipino Children, Laws and Issuances on Filipino Children, and Government and Non-Governmental Agencies or Institutions. Human Rights. These are rights which are inherent to the human being. This concept acknowledges that every single human being is entitled to enjoy his or her human rights without distinction to race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. It is also universal, indivisible, interdependent, and interrelated. So, human rights are fundamental for development, democracy, and security. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights was adopted by the United Nations in 1948. The rights stated in the Declaration can be grouped as: A. Civil and political. Rights that protect individual freedom and participation in the decision-making processes of the community, and those that relate to freedom of thought, opinion, and religion. B. Economic, social, and cultural. These are rights that achieve a minimum standard of living, food, health care, and ensure a share in the country's economic welfare, employment, education. Now, children's rights are a set of entitlements for all children enshrined in the UNCRC, or United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. The convention, acknowledged in law by almost every country, obliges signatory states to inform children and young people about their rights and give them opportunities to exercise them. The rights enshrined in the UNCRC fall into four categories: right to survive, right to belong, right to be safe, and right to develop. And these entitlements apply to children of every background and encompass what they need to survive and have opportunities, equal opportunities to lead stable, rewarding lives. Now, there are four general principles that underpin all children's rights. 1. Non-discrimination means that all children have the same right to develop their potential in all situations and at all times. 2. The best interests of the children or of the child must be a primary consideration in all actions and decisions concerning a child and must be used to resolve conflicts between different rights. So, example for this in the non-discrimination, every child should have an equal access to education regardless of the gender, her race, nationality, or religion, sexual orientation, and other status. Now, when making national budgetary decisions affecting children, the government must consider how cuts will impact on the best interests of the child. Number 3. The right to survival and development underscores the vital importance of ensuring access to basic services and to equality of opportunity for children to achieve their full development. So, example for this, a child with a disability should have effective access to education and healthcare to achieve their full potential. Now, number 4, the views of the child mean that the voice of the child must be heard and respected in all matters concerning his or her rights, Example, those in power should consult with children or considering them before making decisions that will affect them. Now, what are the goals in teaching children with their rights? The following are a few reasons why teaching children about their rights is important. 1. Develops intercultural understanding. 2. Builds social skills. 3. Develops ethical understanding. 4. Motivates student learning. 5. Creates a safer school. 6. Children realize their rights. 7. Empowers students to become active citizens. And the best way to empower the children and protect them is to, of course, teach them about their rights. We have to inform them. That's why it is important that they should be educated about the limitations of these rights and also the corresponding responsibilities. Teaching students about the world and other cultures increases social and cultural awareness, and it even strengthens children's identity. So learning about child rights supports listening skills, respect, empathy, and anti-bullying behaviors. Now we go to Filipino children's rights. As one of the countries that signified and ratified the UNCRC, the Philippine government, in compliance to the convention, has promulgated and implemented laws and policies for the protection of the rights of Filipino children. The following is a list of the fundamental rights of children based on the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of the Child. Every Filipino child has the right to be born, to have a name and a nationality, to be free, to have a family who will take care of him or her, to have a good education, to develop your potentials, to have enough food, shelter, a healthy and active body, to be given the opportunity for play and leisure, to be given protection against abuse, danger, and violence brought about by war and conflict, to live in a peaceful community, to be defended and assisted by the government, to be able to express your own views. Now, here are the laws and issuances on Filipino children. So, as you can see, uh, we have here the Executive Order 209 Family Code of the Philippines, Republic Act 386, the New Civil Code, PD 603, the Child and Youth Welfare Code of 1974, RA 9255, an act allowing illegitimate children to use the surname of their father, RA number 10627, Anti-Bullying Act of 2013, RA 6655, Free Public Secondary Education Act of 1988, RA 6972, Barangay Daycare Law, RA 7277, Magna Carta for Disabled Persons, RA 7323, Summer and or Christmas Employment for Poor Students, RA 7610, Special Protection of Children Against Child Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act, RA 7624, an act integrating drug prevention and control in school curricula, RA 8044, the Youth in Nation Building Act of 1995, RA 8504, AIDS Prevention and Control Act of 1988, RA 8353, the Anti-Rape Law of 1997, RA 8980, Early Childhood Care and Development Law, RA 9208, Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act of 2003, RA 9262, Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act of 2004, RA 9344, Juvenile Justice and Welfare Act of 2006, Executive Order Number 56, authorizing the Ministry of Social Services and Development to take protective custody of child prostitutes and sexually exploited children and for other purposes. Proclamation Number 731, declaring the second week of February of every year as National Awareness Week for the prevention of child sexual abuse and exploitation. Proclamation Number 267, declaring October as National Children's Month. Now, you can check this website for the other laws for the protection of children's rights. And now we go to the government and non-governmental agencies, institutions. One, we have here the CWC, or Council for the Welfare of Children. It is the focal interagency body of the Philippine government for children. It is mandated to coordinate the implementation and enforcement of all laws, formulate, monitor, and evaluate policies, programs, and measures for children. Next, we have DSWD, Department of Social Works and Development. It is mandated to develop, implement, and coordinate social protection and poverty reduction solutions for and with the poor, vulnerable, and disadvantaged. Next, we have the DepEd, Department of Education. Implement programs and policies which protect and advance the welfare and rights of children. It includes in the curricula of the teaching and practice of children's rights and responsibilities. Next, we have the Bahay Tuluyan. It is a non-government organization that provides a variety of programs and services aimed at preventing and responding to abuse and exploitation of children in the Philippines. It seeks to promote, fulfill, respect, and protect children's rights. Next, Bantay Bata. It is a child welfare program launched in 1997 to protect disadvantaged and at-risk children through a nationwide network of social services. It includes the rescue and rehabilitation of sick and abused children, training and advocacy on child abuse prevention, rehabilitation of families in crisis, educational scholarships, livelihood, community outreach, and medical and dental missions. And last, we have here the UNICEF Philippines. UNICEF is an agency of the United Nations devoted to serving the world's children. UNICEF began providing assistance to the Philippines in November 1948. Since then, UNICEF and the Philippine government have been partners in protecting Filipino children. So those are some of the government and non-government agencies or institutions that promote and uphold children's rights and welfare. And that's all for the presentation. Thank you all for listening and keep safe.